Hello everyone, this is Running on Empty Food Review. Well, hello ladies, gentlemen, and everyone watching. Welcome, one and all. This is Running on Empty Food Review. I'm your host, the Report of the Week, and here we are. Now, I know I've been doing a lot of different pizza type reviews lately. And now granted, pizza is one of my favorite foods. I always like pizza. There's so many different things you can do with it, so many different types, but I know it can I've seen a few people say, oh, pizza again? And I get it can get tiresome. So when I saw this release from Popeyes, I thought, you know what, this will be fun. It'll be kind of fun to change things up. This is a new kind of pizza that is called, it's actually a very new concept. We call it a sandwich. And I know this is really difficult, especially after the last review that we did with the pizza melts. But just follow through, and we're just going to make of this what we will. But this is a new release from Popeyes. You get a lot of releases like this around this time of year with Lent and everything. Popeyes has released the Cajun Flounder Sandwich. Again, around this time of year, every place releases, some fish sandwich or fish derivative. In this case, again, Popeyes has released their Cajun Flounder Sandwich. So what exactly is it? Is this name like some sort of secret acronym? Is this a new type of pizza? Or is it simply what they say that it is? So we're going to delve into this. We're going to figure out the mysteries. We're going to get to the bottom of this. And we're going to navigate through the confusion. We're going to swim around like that flounder that's on the sandwich right now. We're going to figure out what's going on here. The Cajun Flounder Sandwich. What exactly is it? It is a sandwich that features a crispy flounder fillet. Again, it is seafood. The name implies that there is a Cajun-spiced panko breading on the flounder. Then it also has tartar sauce and pickles. Now, you can't get this sandwich a la carte, although there are two different meals you can get. You can get your regular meal, which features the sandwich and then a side. You can get that at least at my local Popeyes for the price of $8. Or you can get, the big meal, right, the big one, for the price of $9, which does include a drink as well. Now, I wasn't feeling all that thirsty today, so I just went with the standard meal. And I just went with the $8 one. So I got some fries. I got it delivered. But I set everything up. The guy just arrived, and here I am filming it, so it's still piping hot. I could feel the heat emanating from the bag here. And we're just going to see how it is. I'm not a huge seafood consumer, granted, but I certainly give things a shot. I certainly try things out, and, we'll see how it is. So, some of these seafood sandwiches, from my recollection, can be hit or miss. But granted, flounder is, I'd say, one of the most, basic seafood items out there in regards to fish. So hopefully it's just going to be light, it's going to be flaky, and overall just an enjoyable sandwich. Hopefully we'll be able to taste some of that Cajun seasoning as well. So here is the bag. I guess they just recycled the chicken sandwich bag for it, because otherwise I would say this is like some sort of, I was going to say mind F, but that's not appropriate for the review. So you know what I'm getting at, where they say the chicken sandwich, unless, again, this is some sort of, joke where it's oh, this is chicken, but it's really not, it's fish, get it? But I think they just took the bag they used for the chicken sandwich and put the fish one in it. It says, love that chicken sandwich. Maybe if I wanted to, if I was feeling more creative, I would take a piece of tape and I would cross out chicken and I would write fish on it. That would be good. Right. It is indeed a fish sandwich. You could already tell when you look in, the patty just looks a little different. So let's remove it. That's the fish sandwich holder, but we're going to be real brazen tonight, and we're not going to use that. I tried to improve the lighting a little bit, so hopefully you can get a better, clearer view of the sandwich here. Here I am with it. We'll just take the thumbnail shot right now, and then I'll show you a nice close-up of it. So let's do this right here. You know, something like that. Maybe, and again, because the thumbnail is the most important part, let's just focus on it and now do it. You know, there we go. I think that's good enough. So here's a good close-up view of the sandwich now. All right, you can see it is like a crispy chicken. Look at that. The bag is getting to me. It's a crispy fish fillet on the brioche bun. As we debun the top, a very light smattering of some tartar sauce. Again, I suppose that Cajun seasoning is in the fish itself. We have that. And then there's those pickles we were talking about, again with some more tartar sauce. But again, we will see how it is. The fish sandwich, the Cajun Flounder Sandwich from Popeyes. So with all that said, you know what's on it, I know what's on it, we all know what's on it. Let's just try it out. We'll see how good or bad it is. That's all there is to it. The Cajun Flounder Sandwich from Popeyes going in. I said I was going to be more brazen today. So when I took that bite, I thought, yeah, that's right. No more pickle. No more pickle to have to deal with. I'm just going to eat it right there. So I did. Hmm. All right, I'm going to take one more bite. I have mostly good things to say, one minor criticism, but mostly good things to say. On the topic of fish and fish sandwiches, I had a dream a couple nights ago. For some reason that I decided to get into the world of music, because obviously I have such a great singing voice. That's sarcasm, by the way. And I released an album where I was covering very popular, like top 40 hit music. And I filmed music videos, and in all of them I was wearing like a fish costume. It was a very strange dream, but just on the subject of fish, thought I'd put that out there. The Cajun Flounder Sandwich. All right, on to the good. I think it tastes good. I think there's a good amount of fish, but that also comes into a little criticism that I have, but again, we'll save that in a minute. The fish itself is soft, but it's not mushy. That's the thing. You don't want it to really be all that mushy, but you still want it to be soft and flaky, which is exactly what it is. It's still flavorful, though. What I really like is to have this nice balance, again, of that tangy tartar sauce, which there is a good amount of. And in this instance, I really like the tartar sauce and the way that it goes with fish, especially fish sandwiches. So in terms of the distribution and application of the sauce, I'm fine that, they were a little more liberal with it, in that it was on the top and bottom bun. It's not overwhelming. It's actually just the right amount. That tang from the pickles also is great. The first bite that I took, where I had the whole pickle in my mouth, it was really a nice burst of flavor, and I like that. I'm a fan of it. The Cajun aspect of it, it's all in the breading. And number one, with every bite, of course, you get that breading, and then you get this, kind of fatty, not really, well, kind of buttery, but mostly just fatty breading that has this spice to it. Now, it's not overwhelmingly spicy. It's more like just on a side note, perhaps. Really, it's just the tangy flavors of all the sauce and the pickles, etc., that you notice the most. However, there is this little hint of spice that's always there. I don't say it's like the hottest thing you'll ever eat, but it certainly does add a little bit of heat to it, which is good. I'm a fan of that. It all works together well, it blends together well, and I think that spice is a nice touch. A lot of the time when places release fish sandwiches, it could just be it's all the same. You get the fish, you get the fattiness, you get the tang of the tartar sauce, and that's it. And it still tastes okay. I don't have problems with it, but that spice is a nice touch. I like that. On to my one minor complaint. I just think that while there is a good amount of fish, the amount of breading is also quite a lot. And there are some instances where I think the breading just gets a bit much, where it's just one bite after the next, especially around the edges. You end up with a mouthful of just this fatty breading, and as a result, it can get a little overwhelming at times. So that's the one issue that I have with it. I think a little less breading, because again, the spice and everything, it all comes down to the breading, but sometimes I think it's just too much of a good thing. It can get a little overwhelming. So that's just my one minor complaint. Again, it doesn't ruin the sandwich. It's just something, again, at certain times, it can just get a little too much. So if there's one thing I think Popeyes could improve on here, that would be it. But all in all, I think it's a good sandwich. Again, a lot of places are releasing these fish sandwiches right now, and I think the spice is definitely a good touch to it. So all things considered, out of 10, definitely in the 7 range. I would say I'd probably get a 7.4 out of 10. Again, that one thing that they just got to work on, but aside from that, I think it's a good sandwich, worth checking out, so give it a shot. On a final note, one thing that I am going to be enabling in the futures is memberships for the YouTube channel. I don't think it's approved yet, but it's just something that I am going to be setting up going forward. It's just going to be another avenue to help support this channel, the radio show, the podcast, and everything that I do. I'll give you guys an update when that's all set up, but just something I wanted to bring out. With that, that's all that I have. Thanks.